Hi guys, I am a total noob at building Linux kernels, but I can always become better, right? Learn, 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 and learn. And read, basically, because in the package build that I was reading or checking out of Linux Xanmod Edge gave us some more information. It says here, look inside, choose GCC optimization.sh to choose your microarchitecture. Valid numbers between 0 to 99. Default is 0. Generic. I've changed it. So this Xanmod Edge is one of 14.1 megabytes. The other one that I've made a video about is 300 megabytes. So this one has been built for this machine with the architecture it needs, with all the extras modules that it all requires, like a microphone is hooked up and a webcam is hooked up and all that. It only takes 14.1 megabyte to boot up. That's the Linux kernel that I have now. Didn't look at the headers, but it's only 28. If this one is 300, that one should probably be even more. This took like an hour to build. This I don't know, but less for sure, less. So go and have a look at package builds. That's a good advice, I think. Inside the package build, sometimes there is some explanation of how things work and what you can do. And this is Atom. We changed it to shell script, I see here. Let's see how is Perl. Perl is nice too. So in here we say microarchitecture 38. Let's tackle that one first. In the choose GCC optimization.sh, we see that he wants to detect this thing and it has a code. So he runs this thing and basically it finds Skylake. In the other video, I've shown you something called CPU ID, and I figured out the same thing, Skylake, sorry. So I go down the list, and I see that Skylake is number 38. So, good enough for me. I tell him that the microarchitecture is 38. Then I keep reading. Disable NUMA. I haven't looked it up what it is, but it says since most users do not have multiple processors. No, I don't think I have it, right? So, no. To disable, possibly increase performance. That's something I like to read, right? Possibly increase performance. For performance, you can disable function, etc., etc. Stock ArcoLinux and Xanmod have this enabled. Set variable to use trackers too. No. To disable, possibly increase performance. No. I went to read on the website, did I not? Let's go there. Let's go there. How did I go there? Probably Google Chrome. And then Google Chrome, history here in Cherry Moon. We've made all the videos. Modprobe, I need to go there later. 3 tabs, no, that's prior. Sure. Xanmod kernel. How did I get to the Xanmod kernel information? So, haven't been here, but check it out. Neat little way to show some advertisement there. And here's information, more technical information. Like I said, I'm totally noob, but willing to learn. So it starts by reading. So it's definitely not that page. Doesn't matter. Maybe you'll find it later, right? Maybe you'll find it later. So I just wanted to show you a website where it says he compares GCC with CLang, telling us that GCC is a proper choice. Okay, fine, proper choice. ZST, no. And this one is something new, and ArcoLinux has now a new package. Sudo pacman -s. What's the name of the package? To keep track of which modules, here first is, compile only used modules to vastly, and this really vastly, reduce the number of modules built at the build time. Let's make this bigger. Build and the build time. To keep track of which modules are needed for your specific system hardware, give module-db script a try. This thing is now on our repo, modprobe-db database, or db. This package build read the database kept. This package build read the database kept if it exists. I understand what it means. More at this wiki page. That's the page. That's probably where I went at this time. Control C. Let's see if that's the page we read that the GCC was the best thing to do. So read the modprobe database. What is this? It's a utility that populates a list of all the kernel modules that have been loaded on a system while running. This list can then be used to disable all the unused modules when building your own kernel, and significantly, and it is to reduce not only the size of the kernel, but the compilation time. Okay, so this guy is now part of ArcoLinux repository, sudo pacman -s modprobe database. Installed. Then I ran this command, modprobe database, to create a file. Now it's maybe time to remove some stuff here. Yeah, we'll find it later. Voila. So on my system, on my .config, I have now a modprobe database and a modprobe-conf. Run this one to create the configuration. That's the configuration. If it does not already exist, it did not exist, so it ran it. And plain text, Perl, let's have a look. Okay, so that's not much, so not, well, read, but it's just specific things. This might be interesting. Add modules in the ignore array that you do not want counted. For example, out of 3 modules, For ArcoLinux, some examples are given below. So NVIDIA is out, NVIDIA DRM mode set, these things will not be, will be ignored. Okay. And then we ran the modprobe database store to create the database itself. So to create this, don't think I've ever clicked on it. And there it is. This is what I need on my machine. That's it. 119 lines, which is nothing. 119 modules. Okay. Next up, what did I do then? I ran this, so we have the list and the store. That's fine. But then didn't do anything of these things, so this looks like interesting stuff to do later on. And then here, building a kernel with modprobe database. After the database has been adequately populated, check. It can be read directly by make local mod config. I did go to that one, I think. No, didn't see that one, so that's not important, but you can read it. Traditional intervenes, compilation workflow, default arch config file, and it says you can add this thing. So okay, so they'll make a kernel, read from the database what modules are needed, and all the rest are skipped, basically, right? Restrict yourself to the modules that are needed for this machine. That's what we're saying. And here's the compilation time. You see, these results do not prove that GCC is faster. I read do prove. It's faster than Clang at building the kernel GCC version, self-built and optimized. Okay, but here we have some information about kernel compilation time and all that. Here is GCC and here is Clang. you compare, you may be well versed or more versed in kernel building than I am. But basically we keep the GCC. So there's no reason, well, if it's better or not, that is not proven. The main results of the benchmark is that 80% of the build time of a full kernel is spent on modules. Given that only a fraction of those modules are needed by any given machine, the build time can be reduced by 70%. So 1 hour becomes 10 minutes, more or less, right? Results will vary from one machine to the other, will be similar. Okay, so that's the page I read. And then we go back to the file in Atom. So we'll go back to the file at cache, Eric, cache, Paru, clone. This is the one we're reading. Voila. So we decided that's for my CPU, a no for NUMA, tracers a no, compiler GCC. We could play around, we could use in the next build, we could use Clang here, right? C-Lang. And then compress modules no. And here with this, that's the thing, right? After doing all that, the configuration and the module, the databases are in the module. Then we say yes to the system, right? We say yes, use it. So there's no need to copy paste anything from the website. It's already in there. If it exists, then local mod. And I just did this, control find, and there are 3 of them. If local mod is yes, then home config modprobe database, then running Steven Rosted's make local mod now. So basically, it's all in here already. The code to change the build, the package build is in there. Just a switch, yes. And everything works if you've done the wiki up here, the modprobe-db database, if it's populated and all that. So I thought, oh God, right, this is interesting. And then it says important, do not edit below this line unless you know what you're doing. So I kept off, right? Until line 60, you're in control, or 58, right? All of this I've changed, result. I'm working on it, by the way. I'm working on it. So this is the Xanmod that I've built. And it's only 14.1 megabyte. I don't know if it's still in the trash. Might be still in the trash. Oops. I have here 89.3 megabytes for this guy. And the headers 29.3. That was much bigger. It was much, much bigger. This one maybe. Here it's still without any. No. I guess we can't see it anymore. But how it was extracted. Extracted it was like 300. That's what it was like that, right? That's possible, right? 90 megabytes times 3 times 4. No, times 3. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I want to share. If you want to play around with me, then that looks like a good thing to do. Maybe we should time it now. It's almost 15 minutes, the video in. Let's clean everything up. Or even better, let's do everything from scratch, right? Gone. Let's do a Paru. Linux, Xanmod, Edge. What did I learn until now? I can run this thing. We have key problems. If we say yes, we're stuck because the keys don't work. So then we've learned that there is Paru skip. There is skip. We can skip these things, these problems. Say yes. And now we say no, don't import them. No. And then it keeps on going. It keeps on downloading the Linux kernel. We're gonna stop this thing. The package build is there. It starts with the 5.15 Linux kernel. It's gonna patch it. And now we're gonna read this thing, right? Now we're gonna edit this thing. Again, right? That was 38. Use NUMA, no. Use tracers, no. GCC, fine. We're not gonna experiment with that. Compress, no. Load module, yes. Stop, that's it. What we haven't done or shown is the modprobe-d here thing. So the commands that I need are coming from here. Control C. Let's put you on another screen. Sorry for the load of all that. That can go. Voila. So, what did I do? I did a modprobe. Well, first a sudo pacman -s modprobe database. It's installed. Then I look up for the command, which is this one, db, modprobe-db, modprobe command not found. I forgot the d there. Voila, it's already there, so we get lots of images, lots of text now. But in the first time I did it, there was nothing. So it said created a file there in home-eric.config. But since everything is here, let's read it. 103 modules currently loaded. 190 modules are in modprobe-db. You can list everything. You can store any new modules to the database, store any new module to the database more quietly, debug everything, and recall. Okay. And for the rest, I did the dbase. That's something I did as well. So the modprobe-db store is something I did. Voila, everything is okay. No new modules detected, taking no action, of course. And that's it, right? I think that's it. So, being that, having that in place, this local mod configuration equals yes is gonna look for that particular file. And we're off building it because basically we're done here. Now I need to rebuild it. We started with Paru, but it's a package. Package builds are created by command, a command called make package. Now we know we're gonna have issues with the key, so we read make package. We're gonna read how to fix this thing, right? And it's all in here, man pacman. Make package -- tab. Skip some stuff, right? There are 3 skip things we can do. This is with keys, so we're gonna skip the PGP check. Otherwise, skip integrity, skip checksums. Now, the most important things are, I want to see that before it continues. Timing is, we start at 18. So I want to know he finds detected Skylake, disabling the things that we said. No. And then Skylake number 38. Your choice is 38, Skylake, that's good. And I want one more thing. Running Steven Rosted's make local mod config. Now that's the thing, the package that we've added. Using the config, restart config. And here, I don't know, right? Like, this is out of my league. I don't know what is this. GCC plugins, yes, no, new. I would suggest we do a yes, well, an enter, right? And let them decide. So yes, and then this is a no, and this is a no. It will take hours and hours to go and read what all that is. And just pressing enter and let the standards things apply. Memory initialization. This looks like a very important thing. I'm not sure what I should choose here. Very strong, strong and weak, and weakest. I'm gonna take 3. I did do an enter, I think, last time. Gonna do enter. So if anybody has tips on that particular part of the video, hey, give me some links in the YouTube description, because that's a lot of technical mumbo jumbos, as they say, but I like to learn. So at 18, we decided to build. I better write it down when the video was at 18 minutes. Voila, we started building. All right, what's gonna happen is this thing is in here by now, and this thing is the patch. Can we open the patch? We can. And it's a long patch, right? This is not your standard Sunday reading. Yes, it's Sunday. Stuff about that beef in there. Probably something else than what I have in mind. And we're still at the bottom, right? We are here. I'm scrolling, we're still at the bottom. So this is definitely quite some geeky, nerdy stuff for later. And here we have all the elements that constitutes, that contains the Linux kernel is containing all this, right? It's gonna use all this to build a nice kernel for us. I thought I would be reading names, but here are indeed some names. All the hardware stuff that we need to be supported. FS is indeed file system, FAT, F2FS, X4. You can spend hours reading this. So a good tutorial would be great for me. If anybody has a suggestion, you can post it underneath the video. The Riser FS is there. Some of them we recognize, others we think, what's this, right? XFS is there. This one, of course, we don't know. MTFS. With some music. So last time I've made other decisions, right? In the last bit there, when we had to say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, I made different choices. None of them might be affecting me, or all of them. Such is being a noob. Too close, too soon yet, too soon. Nothing there. Config last. Quick look at this one again. So this is just for the CPU. Yeah, just for the CPU. Then we haven't missed anything. And again, this is the slider, right? This is the slider. The most small slider I've ever seen. And there are 60,700 lines of code in here. Some of them will work and some of them are hashtag out. Config user stack trace support, yes. Config have function tracer, yes. What does it do? Right. Something. Here's some watchdog. Sometimes we see the watchdog things. Configure the watchdogs, yes. Core, yes. Handle boot enabled, yes. These things when you shut down or boot up, then you see sometimes this watchdog. Thermal drivers, ACPI drivers. I wonder if we get something if we type Realtek or something. Yep, Realtek, 3 of them. Broadcom. Configure Broadcom, yes, it's in the kernel. Wireless LAN, Cisco is there, Intel is there, Marvel, Microchip. Here in Belgium is more a Intel, Marvel, yeah. Broadcom, Realtek. Where's Realtek? Here. I'm missing one. What was the name again? I think we've 80% of the market with Broadcom, Realtek, and Intel already, if not more. Anything about NVIDIA is not set. Is not set. This is set. WireGuard is here. Whoa, it's done, Eric. 27, 28, let's say 10 minutes. I hope. I don't know really when it stopped, but I'll test later on. But it's certainly faster than me not editing anything. If I don't edit anything, you can see the video on the YouTube channel. It takes 1 hour to build it, but it got also an installation then of a kernel of 300 megabytes. So, ls, we got this, the target ST and the headers. Both can be installed. Let's see the size, 14.1, and this one is 28.3, so double it. And then a sudo pacman, it's already installed, I think, or not, I don't think so. Mine is U and a Linux Xanmod 5 something. There you go, and now it's installed. So whatever I did last time, what I did now costs me 0.07 megabyte more, whatever that is. I have no idea what I've selected there at the bit where it says yes, no, but it costs me a few megabytes. Well, a really nothing, 0.07 megabyte. Okay. And thanks to our ArcoLinux Pacman hook to upgrade grub automatically, we don't need to type update grub. And upgrade grub is something we know because that's an alias for something I always forget. Sudo group make configuration -o boot grub configuration update grub. Voila, I've got myself a new kernel. That's the knowledge how I got this far. But I'm certainly willing to learn how to get further down the kernel building thing. All right, enjoy.